Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and you're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast. And on this episode, PS5 stonks are through the roof, and Sam number 2 is in the house. Take it away, Jim. Woo! All right. Hello, Internet. I've just coughed. My name is Taylor, once again, and I'm joined by my co host Brianna and Sam number 2, formerly known as Ethan, on this episode of No Limits, episode number 16, PlayStation Podcast. And remember, you can find this podcast over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you'd rather listen to audio, we're on all your favorite podcast services, and we'd love it if you could give us a review. It helps us grow, and we'd love all feedback. And if you'd like to interact with us more, including sending in questions, join the Discord with the link down in the show notes. If you want to support us and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/, can't do English, Save the Game Media, and choose the tier that's right for you. Just like our current patrons, Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, SAZ, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Brianna's hairdryer, Amon, Anna Hudak, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, our new patron Cypher Primus, and
it's Primus.
Primus, yeah, Toyota Primus. All right, I think it's Cypher Primus. Please, Cypher, just correct me in the Discord if I'm wrong.
Yes.
And for clarification, Breeze Appliances are not patrons yet, but I'm going to keep mentioning them.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
Not yet. Also,
I do think it's funny enough that I could be dedicated to like making different emails and then like subscribing to our Patreon like multiple times under different names.
It's like the follower bot type deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, it's got to be Luna the cat. That's got to be our first patron.
Yeah, for sure. No, Luna is like, if I start creating extra accounts, Luna of course is the first.
Awesome.
Everything else is after that. She is the goddess that walks this planet.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. And again, Patreon's down in the show notes. And also, Extra Life is in less than 3 weeks from the time of this recording. Extra Life is a fundraising initiative for the Children's Hospital Miracle Care Network in the United States and other hospitals up and around US and Canada, where we help raise money for the kids and for kids who have ailments or that need treatment and don't have the money for it. We help them out. It's an awesome gaming fundraising event where we just play games for 24 hours. And I'll be in Rome, New York with Kevin Ainsworth from Project Xbot. And
got to throw a shot in there.
Got to throw a shot in there. And it's going to be awesome. So that's happening on November 4th. Raise money for the kids. And a couple other things to note about it. We're raising money for a child named Miles. I think his last name is O'Neill. Miles O'Neill. Well, his dad's
I thought
name
you were
is
going to say Morales, and I was like...
Miles Morales, yeah. His dad's name is Marcus O'Neill, so I assume his last name is... The child's last name is O'Neill, but we'll just call him Miles. Is the son of a big-time community member over at our friends of the show, Carpool Gaming. And he's had a lot of difficulties in his early life so far. I think he's had more than 2 cranial surgeries. So making sure that he gets the care he needs. And well, myself, Kevin, Trophy Room Podcast, Joe and Kyle, and Sean and Ryan from Carpool Gaming are all going to be streaming together on one couch, or not casting couch.
It's going to be a hell of a couch.
Yeah, at Extra Life. It's going to be great. And we're all part of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. So please go over and support Phoenix Overdrive and Extra Life. Links in the show notes. And we just have a new recent donation from Hopple for a large amount of money. That is so generous of him. So I probably could have made that more efficient of an explanation, but I'm not going to, because we're getting close to Extra Life. People need to hear all the goods about it. So, with that said, with our special guest once again, Sam, what you been
Yes.
playing?
Real quick, I want to do a shout out about the Extra Life. On the 20th, we will have Dave Navarro on Project X Bot.
You
So
mean
I'm
Lee
sure
Navarro?
Lee Navarro. I don't know why it's
Yeah,
Dave Navarro.
Lee Navarro, who's the mastermind behind all of
Yes,
this.
he is. He is the mastermind behind everything going on at Extra Life. He's going to be on Project Xbot, so I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about Extra Life and how you guys can contribute. So make sure to check out that episode for anyone interested. In terms of what I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky came out with a 4.0 update called Waypoint. I think it's called. Yeah, Waypoint. And it never ceases to amaze me the absolute amount of content that they're just adding to this game and giving to us for free. It's really incredible. There's a lot of cool quality of life improvements to the game. There's trade rockets now, so you can get like this cool attachment that lets these rockets come down on whatever planet you're on. You can fill it up with materials that you got, and it blasts off and it flies all the way to whatever the system's like main hub is to sell all your stuff for you. So that's really cool. And then also, I don't know if this was added before 4.0, but when you summon the anomaly, for anyone that plays No Man's Sky, you know what I'm talking about, the anomaly, and you fly into it, you basically are put into a multiplayer hub. Where you see other people's ships. You can trade with other players. You can do like missions with other players. There's a bunch of different shops. You can buy things. It's really, really cool. So it's awesome just to see this game continue to be updated and have so much stuff. And it's just been a blast exploring the universe in No Man's Sky. I've been playing this game since 2016. I even liked it back then. You know, I know the launch was really disappointing, but they've had a hell of a turnaround, and I think it's good to support them. So definitely, if you guys are interested, go check it. It's on Game Pass for those of you that have Xbox Game Pass. So you can just download that real quick and play it. Other games that I've been playing, Red Dead Redemption 2. I talked a little bit about this on the last episode of Project X Talk. I've been getting really deep into Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 1 was probably one of my favorite games of the 360 era, and I maintain that Red Dead Redemption is a better series than Grand Theft Auto. I think it's the best thing Rockstar has ever made.
And you played Undead Nightmare too, I assume.
Yeah, I played Undead Nightmare, even though I'm terrified of
Interesting.
zombies.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Okay.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time holed up in like Armadillo and the different cities, trying not to, go out into the wilderness too much. But I toughed it out because it's just such a great game. Similar to what I did with The Last of Us. You got to tough it out every now and then because it's such a good game. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 2 is just one of the most detailed and exciting games I've ever played. I'm so glad that I finally own it. I've always been playing it on other people's accounts. So I've done like the first mission 100 times, but I finally own it. I was on sale. I got the Ultimate Edition for like $40, which is really cheap for an Ultimate Edition of a Rockstar game. And I'm just having an absolute blast with it. So those are the two games. Oh yeah, and Scorn. I haven't talked about Scorn yet. I beat Scorn. It took me about a day and a half. Very quick game. I played with a guide. It's a puzzle game. I can't do puzzles, but
I empathize with you about that.
yeah, I'm really bad. I get stuck on puzzles a lot. So I played with a guide. It didn't give you the solutions for the puzzles though. So I gotta pat myself on the back a little bit. I got the puzzles done, but just traversal could get really confusing in that game.
So you don't have any game-breaking bugs that the
No.
internet's dying over?
Not a single bug, no game-breaking bugs,
That's
not a
not allowed.
single graphic bug, not a single sound bug. I think this game is one of the more polished Game Pass experiences I've had in a while. It's a beautiful game. The environment, the soundscape, it's the art style is absolutely insane. It is very gory.
I was going to say, you're like, what beautiful gore.
Well, there's the gore,
gore.
but when you look at the world around you too, the architecture of this place, it tells a story of this lost civilization. And it's Brianna, we talked about this in our first book bonanza about lore building and how the key to a good lore build is basically is the player or the reader or whoever's consuming the content, do you just ravenously want to know more about the world you're in? And I think Scorn does that really, really well. From the first second that I started walking around this world, I wanted to know everything about it. It's so interesting and it's so exciting to go around. But I gotta say, I don't want to end on a negative, but I gotta say the combat, atrocious. It shouldn't have been in this game, or at least it should have been done in a limited capacity. Your character is slow. He can't dodge. He can't sprint. Well, he can kind of sprint. It's more of like a light jog. There's no dodge. There's no block. And it's really limited ammo. And yes, it's difficult. I get it. But at the same time, it just didn't feel right for the game. And I think that's pretty much a general gripe everybody has about this game, is that the combat really is just garbage. And then also the fact that you can just run past all the enemies. Like, the combat is just there for no reason, I feel like, because I spent most of my time either jamming them into corners around terminals and everything where they just glitch in and they can't like move pretty much, or I'm just running past them. And I don't even need to deal with them. So combat just felt forced in there. Like, they probably were building this game and realized, like, oh god, this is actually just going to be boring if you just run around, which I don't think that would have been the case. But I just don't like the combat in it. The weapons aren't fun to use. The enemy types are pretty boring. But other than that, great game. I really recommend it. It's only a day and a half. The combat, there isn't actually that much. I think there's really only 2 chapters where combat's really heavy. The first 2 chapters, there's no combat at all. So it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, if you play this, just run past the enemies. Don't even try and engage. It's not that fun.
This reminds me, for some reason, I guess because it's scoring into hell, like the hell aspect. Ethan, have you ever played Minecraft?
Of course.
When you're running through, okay, Kevin hates it, so this is why I asked. Because before that, I would have assumed everyone played Minecraft, but not
No,
Kevin.
I'm the guy on X Talk that actually plays good video
Okay,
games. Taylor.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good job.
I just, out of all the games that you were gonna say, I just wasn't expecting Minecraft to come out of your mouth in relation to Scorn.
The reason I'm getting into it is because you said just run past the enemies. It reminds me of Minecraft when you're in the Nether and you run past the pigmen.
Yeah, just run.
You attack one, they'll all start attacking you, right?
Yeah, don't bother with it. The enemies, they won't really aggro to you all the time unless you get really close to them. But it's pretty easy to ignore them, and a lot of times they'll just go into these little fleshy holes in the wall and like disappear. So you don't got to do. It's a really fleshy and squishy game.
Yeah, I'm a little into it, like a little bit. Like I love like the Alien universe and Alien franchise. Like I love learning about like seeing the ship and like I enjoyed Prometheus and like the lore, the historic lore behind like the engineers and the people who created the aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm into it. Like I'm into that a little bit, but I can't do gore more than like gore that would show up in a shooter. Like I can't do really more than that.
Oh yeah, it's a very gory. To give you a little snapshot of how gory it is, one of the things you got to do in the last chapter is get these embryos of these like giant skulled creatures, and you put them in this like pressure chamber, and it just crushes them, and it actually does like a full animation of like it going into the skull and like squishing it into liquid to get into like this thing that you need to use as a key.
You hear the bones crunch?
Yeah, you hear everything. I don't know how they made these sounds. I think they just went to the supermarket, got steak, and started slapping it around.
Well, like Darth Vader's sound is like a scuba regulator or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how close this game was to an AO rating, adults only.
Yeah, it's a great soundscape. I'm telling you, like there's not really a lot of music. There's a couple points in it where there's music, but it's a lot of just like eerie howling and a lot of eerie creaking, because you're in this like biomechanical world where everything is like flesh and metal and bone, and you really like when you wear headphones, my god, it sounds like you're just in a fleshy metal like building. It's so strange.
Now
it's very interesting,
but I know that interest is going to bite me in the ass if I try it.
To be fair, like when it gets really gory, the really gory spots, it's coming, so you can kind of turn away. Like general combat or whatever, not like super gory, just like
you have to turn away at points. You're like, I can't see this.
I never had to. I'm desensitized to this stuff, so it didn't really bother me too much. I found it more interesting than anything. But
Kent let her walk in, and she saw it. She's like, "Up, walking the other way now."
She wasn't watching me play this. She was watching. She was watching Bob's Burgers on the laptop. She couldn't.
Yeah,
she was like,
that's the kind of energy I like.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Nah,
we liked it, Bob's." Okay, cool. That's funny.
Yep.
Also, I don't want to mention it because I was there for No Man's Sky on day one. Like, I was hyped for the release for 3 months, and like, I was there for the whole shebang. And it's great to see the game continuing to develop itself. So, cool. Awesome. All right, what about you, Pui?
What have I been playing?
Yeah.
I played like a little bit more of Outer Wilds.
Ooh. I'm interested in this.
2 of the 3 videos are already up on YouTube if you want to watch it.
What's your YouTube channel name?
Fabulous Brianna. Surprise! Surprise!
Shameless plug. That's also our Twitch.
Yeah. No, I'm just pulling the VODs from Twitch and putting them up on YouTube. I'm gonna start doing that for games that I'm doing full playthroughs of. And then I played a bunch of Elden Ring.
Okay.
For the most part, I haven't really been playing a ton of video games. I did download and start playing Destiny 2.
Uh-oh.
Because my brother wants to play it with me, and he's never like asked me like to. I mean, it's not that he doesn't want to play games with me. He's just never asked me specifically to play a game.
Okay.
And so I was like, I have to download this now because I want to play games with my brother. So yeah, I downloaded it. I started playing it. It's pretty fun so far, but I'm not really in the game yet. I'm just kind of like in the tutorial stuff still. So
Yeah. Okay.
but other than that, I've just been watching a bunch of anime, but we're recording the anime special edition of Frame by Frame later today. So I'll save that, but I've been watching a lot of anime.
Nice.
Okay.
Brianna, real quick, I got to ask you, because I've always been interested in Destiny 2. But it's a very this game's been out for a long time. How does it feel being a new player? Does it feel overwhelming at all? Is there just too much to take in, or do you feel like there's a good onboarding process
The
for it?
onboarding sucks. You need someone else.
So I think there's a couple of layers to this. So far, I have not been confused. I'm also not like super diving into any of it, and I do know that they've streamlined the process. There was this long opening sequence to kind of explain where you were and where you like what's happening in the world originally. And there was actually like a lawsuit or something around this forever ago when Destiny 2 came out because they like removed one of the voice actors from the game and they like redid the voice acting and anyways, I don't remember the full story, but there was like a bunch of drama around it when this originally happened. So I know they've streamlined the process a lot. So it's basically like you get this like cutscene that's like, this is where you are now. You got to go. And then you go and you like you just like kill a bunch of stuff. I'm very much enjoying the combat. I just got a gun that is so fantastic. I'm obsessed with this gun. I this is very much how you get me into first person shooters is you have to give me a gun that I'm good at
Yeah.
and I'm not good at many guns. Like for a while I had like a pistol and let me tell you that was not it. That was not it.
What is this gun?
Yeah.
What does it do? Is it a machine gun? Is it a rifle? Is it a sniper rifle?
It's a sniper rifle, but it kind of like if you're not in so it's a sniper rifle, but it's like a semi-automatic sniper rifle
Ooh, I like that.
where you don't have to like if you're not looking down the sights, you don't have like this really awkward like long gun that you can't really shoot very well. It still shoots when you're not looking down the sights. And then you have like two different kinds of weapons. One has ammo and one's energy. So you use like unlimited ammo. So that's my energy gun. So that's like the gun that I usually use. And then for my secondary gun, I have a shotgun, which is like the other gun that I always need. So my two guns that I always like are sniper rifles and shotguns. So
Very good.
Cool. Yeah, I think my favorite. I always think of when it comes to sniper rifles in games. I think my favorites are one in particular. Ethan, I wonder if you remember this. In Far Cry 3, there was a signature gun called the AMR, right? I think I talked about this before, right? The anti-material rifle, where it would just blow up. Like if you shot it at the front of like what would be the equivalent of a Jeep Wrangler in that game, the Jeep Wrangler would blow up.
Yeah, it was like an anti-tank rifle.
You're unable to put a silencer on it. If when it hits an enemy, they like get jolted back. They get flown backwards from how powerful the shot is, and also the bolt action in The Last of Us. Believe it or not, I found that one satisfying.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Bolt action rifles are usually the ones that I navigate towards in first person shooters or shooter games because the stopping power is just so good in those. They just use really high caliber. I love them.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so two things. One, to answer your question, Ethan, if you're gonna get into it, I may recommend getting into it now. Just because my brother is starting a new character, and so he's going to be helping me get into it. And you are like absolutely welcome to play with us.
Ooh.
The crossplay.
So if
on
you
Xbox.
Yep, it is crossplay.
Okay.
Because my brother is on Xbox, so I'm playing on PC, so I can get those sexy graphics. But I know some people can't.
Do you play with controller, mouse, and keyboard?
Controller. I mean, mouse and keyboard. Why did I say the other one?
Because you said sexy graphics on
keyboard.
PC, and I'm like, the first thing I think of PC is I get that. For first person shooters, I usually like the mouse and keyboard.
I don't love mouse and keyboard. I'm actually better with a controller, but I'm also too lazy to plug my controller in.
Okay.
Valid.
So So that's what usually happens. Anyway, so if you want to get to it, yeah, like I literally have only played like maybe an hour or 2 hours, so you wouldn't be behind really.
Hmm.
And it's really fun so far, and I don't like first person shooters. Um, I did want to say my shout out to my favorite gun, the Spitmaw blaster from Returnal, but specifically the slug shot, because that
Sure.
gun is a sniper rifle and shotgun in one gun.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is the best gun to have ever been created. When I first shot it, I gasped so loud, and it's my favorite gun forever. So.
It's like the Spas 12 from Modern Warfare 2. You can shoot people from across the map with it. Love it.
I've never come across a gun like this, and
Awesome.
it's so sexy.
Cool. And I guess that leaves
Yeah.
me. So I
Mhm.
haven't played a lot of games this past week because I've been, I don't know, busy with school wrapping up. Well, I still got half the semester to go, but busy with school stuff. And so I've been playing a ton of games this past week. Although I have finished watching some shows. Peaky Blinders,
Is
which is
that getting the Taylor recommendation or no?
excellent. Oh, it's great. Thumbs
Okay.
up.
I
Cillian
want to watch it
Murphy
then.
is a
I want to sit and listen to them talk.
Cillian Murphy's hot. Okay, he is a new man crush of mine, but he's also acts great in that show. Everyone, like, it's a very well put together show. It is gangster stuff, so like if you don't like Breaking Bad, or well, I guess Breaking Bad isn't gangster, but if you're not into like anti-hero gangster type stuff like Sopranos, Breaking Bad, Ozarks, like if you're not into these types of shows
Oh
with
no.
action and violence, probably isn't for you, but it's, I don't know. Maybe I
I'm
shouldn't
gonna try
undersell it like that,
anyways.
but I think you should
I'm
try it.
gonna try it
I think
anyways
it's a good
because
show.
I want to listen to the accents. So
Okay. Yeah. There's a number there's a lot of Irish. It's Irish accents.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But I think it's definitely worth a try. Also Netflix. Um
Man, I wish that people liked American accents the way that we like other
oh,
accents.
do most countries hate American accents?
I don't think it's like a hate. It's just like I think that there's just like too many Americans running around wild. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
we're no longer special.
In terms of Western media, I guess it's dominated by a lot of American works.
Yeah, so I think we just sound, I don't know. We
It
just sound like
doesn't
Americans for the
Too
most part. I
familiar.
think some people enjoy the accents, especially like southern accents, but for the most part I think it's
Oh,
just
it doesn't help that media for the most part portrays American accents as being dumb, like dumb people and everything, like southern accents. Like I know people with deep southern draws, they're some of the smartest people in the world.
so yeah, besides Peaky Blinders, I started a show called 14 Peaks, which is about it's a mountaineering documentary on Netflix.
I'm too
What?
scared to watch that. There's
Oh,
no
come
way.
on.
There's no way. Somebody's going to fall and it's going to
So
scare
it's
me.
about a mountaineer who has a quest to summit all 8,000-meter plus, the 14, I think 8,000-meter plus peaks in the world in less than 7 months.
Can I ask you who gave him this quest?
He did it to himself.
Oh, okay. So it's not a quest, it's just a goal.
I mean, it's a quest. But I started that, not super into it, but I also saw a Japanese horror film called Ugetsu, which was excellent. It's
Ooh, that
from
sounds
the
cool.
50s, directed by Mizoguchi, who's an excellent 20th century Japanese director.
Mm,
I think it was very good, interesting movie. It wasn't quite as
not
scary.
rated.
Huh?
It's not rated.
Oh, well, it's not, there's nothing like explicit.
Oh, okay.
It's on like HBO Max if you have it. But
did.
it was an excellent movie. It wasn't so much scary as it was just really interesting. But yeah, and this morning I started Midnight Mass. So for the first time,
So happy to hear it.
yeah.
You got to catch up. We got to watch.
Then I gotta watch
Club's
Midnight Run.
pretty good.
Yeah, or Midnight is a Midnight Run, right?
It's Midnight Club.
Midnight Club, like the video game. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
like yeah.
It's a good time. I so far am very much liking the setting of Midnight Club.
Okay.
The setting of the show is probably my favorite after Hill House.
Oh, also Hill House has been my favorite Flanagan.
Hill House has been my favorite as well.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And what's her name? Siegel. What's the actress's name? She's Mike Flanagan's wife. She constantly appears in these shows.
Oh, I don't remember her name.
Yeah, she's still beautiful, as usual. And now, in terms of what I've been playing, I played a little bit, getting back into Yakuza 5 last night. I've been meaning to pick it back up after my hiatus from it. I finally did. So, resumed that journey, and yeah, back in the saddle again for Yakuza, and it's good so far. Remastered, I should say. Yakuza 5 remastered on PC.
Kate Siegel, by the way. I just looked it up for you.
Hmm?
Kate Siegel.
Kate
by the
Siegel,
way.
yeah.
I just looked it up. Yeah.
She's really attractive.
Will you let her kill you though? That's the question. That's the standard.
No,
for
that's
Taylor.
later. That's later.
That's inappropriate, Ethan.
That's story 7.
Really? That's story 7? Okay.
She's
Yeah.
already, well, yeah. That's story 7. Oh yeah, story 7. We'll save it for
Yeah,
then.
we'll save it. Yeah, we gotta
So
we gotta save the
yeah.
thirst
After
for
this-
later.
That's the bar.
Right, yeah. So after this fun extended 25-minute intro,
Mm.
let's get into the news. So, starting off, some good news. PlayStation 5 console US shipments are up 400% from last September year over year. So David Gibson, a senior analyst at MST Financial, posted on Twitter showing a drastic increase in the amount of units shipped to the US September 20. I'm sorry, drastic increase in the amount of PS5 units shipped to the US in September 2022. So this increase comes in part in preparation for both God of War's Ragnarok's launch and also probably the holiday rush, right? The 2nd November 1st hits, holiday buying goes through the roof. And coincidentally, or maybe not, last year Sony said they thought their console shortages would be up until September 2022. So here we are, funnily enough. And Sony, I can't speak English today, guys. Sony, not Sony, but Sony rather, currently has sold over 20 million PS5s as of June 2022. They missed their 2021 sales by over 3 million units sales goal. And Sony estimates they'll have an additional 18 million PS5s sold by March 2023. And the PS5 is the 4th fastest console to hit 2 million sales in the UK. This is from Ryan Dinsdale on IGN and Tom Ivan from BGC. I think this is great news to see the PS5 units coming in. I hope scalpers don't get too much of a jump on things. Of course, they'll be there, but
Again, if you don't have your PlayStation 5, go through Direct Buy. Like, I can't emphasize this enough. Like,
yeah, PS Direct.
Go through. It's like makes it so much easier, and you don't have to stress about like the market or anything like that. You just get a link you click on, and then you buy the PlayStation. It's super easy. And if you're planning on getting it for the holidays, get it now.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you were getting it for the holidays, I would have said get it in August.
Yep, I
But
would have said that as well. But
now we're in October.
it's too late now. Get it now.
It's too late.
Hurry up.
Hurry up before Ragnarok comes out and everybody needs a PlayStation.
Yeah, the demand's gonna go through the roof for that.
Mm-hmm.
PS5 demand will be at an all-time high over the holidays for sure because of Ragnarok and the
Mhm.
holidays themselves. Yeah, but I think this shipment news is really good news, and I hope more people get their hands on it. And I don't really have much to add.
I think this
Yeah.
is also good news for like the world in general because it means that things are starting to return to normal, in terms of like production.
Well, question then:
So
what if they were just like hoarding PS5s and
they
intentionally?
they said so unless that Sony themselves are lying, they said that they weren't doing that.
Okay,
They
good.
specifically said that it was because of it's the same thing that like people were having issues with like PC parts as well as car parts
Mhm.
because it's like the stuff that you need to make the chips that
Yep.
go into
Car parts all need chips now.
into like all of these different like more expensive technologies, and so PlayStation 5 was having a lot of issues because of that. So I mean, I really don't think that this was an artificial demand like Nintendo did in 2008. So I think this was like a true just like the world was falling apart because there weren't enough factories making these chips. And yeah, so
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
cool.
it is really good news. I'm glad to see that we're sort of starting to get out of this. Obviously, the problems aren't completely solved yet. But I was actually going to raise the point about the artificial demand, but I didn't know Sony came out and said that they weren't. But then again,
They could
don't
lie
know
about it. They could
Yeah,
lie
it's a
about it. But the thing is
corporation.
I really don't think that here's my thing. I don't think that all of these companies were creating artificial demand, and Sony needed the same chip as a lot of these other companies
Well,
because
yeah.
it's not like a unique chip that they were putting into the PlayStation 5. It's like a chip that exists in other technology as well. So it just doesn't make sense for PlayStation to say like to create artificial demand, but then everybody else is also short supply. Like there's no way. Like,
Well,
you know?
I don't even know if I would consider Xbox in short supply anymore. We've seen an increased ability of people to be able to pick up the Xbox. We see Series S's are in the wild every store you go to.
Well, yeah,
Series
Well,
X's,
I
Series
mean,
X though, I've been able to go on Walmart.com on a whim a few times over the past few months, and every time I went to check just off the cuff, it's the add to cart button has been there
yeah.
yeah,
And
for
then
sure. I think that
from
PlayStation may
Walmart
be
themselves, not
selling
a
a
third
little
party
bit
seller.
more.
Let me
yeah.
clarify.
Yeah, and
Sorry, Bree.
my
Wait,
buddy
I
and
interrupted Bree. I interrupted Bree. Bree, go.
No, I was just saying. So um, I think that maybe Xbox is losing.
well, I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just
but
kidding.
Xbox is what?
every
I'm
console
just kidding.
manufactured up to this point is
What'd you
getting
say?
sold.
I said losing, but
They're
I'm just
stinky.
kidding.
They're stinky, yeah.
You said they're
Xbox
automated.
is
Just a bunch of
gross.
Xbox.
But I was trying to make the point that it seems like Xbox, were, of course, it's a domestic manufacturing with Xbox. It's an American company. We're starting to see Xboxes become more available. Now we're starting to see PS5s more available. I don't know if the chip shortage is completely done because I just sold my truck for way more than I think it's worth. So obviously the demand is still there, at least in the vehicle market. You still can't really find used vehicles. But in terms of consumer electronics, it looks like things are getting a little better. Hopefully it's to the point where anybody can just go online and purchase one of these things. I doubt it's going to be like that anytime soon, but you know, I'm skeptical about big corporations. I don't care if it's Microsoft or PlayStation. I could totally see them
Yeah.
for the last year putting stuff to the side because they know during holiday season there's going to be a huge amount of people looking for it,
Oh,
and
okay,
combined
yeah.
with the
So
God of War release.
I can get behind that where it's like it's they've been holding units for the holiday season this year,
Exactly, yeah.
but I can't get behind that this has just been a artificial
Oh yeah,
demand
no,
the whole
it hasn't.
time.
Yeah, it hasn't.
Like
No, yeah, that
there's
you're
no
absolutely
way
right.
that like yeah, like you said, I mean I can see that for the holidays because that's just kind of like companies
Yeah,
at the
no.
holidays.
We
They're
know there
trying
has been a legitimate chip shortage with consumer electronics, vehicles, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
But this would be a good strategy by Sony or Xbox or any consumer electronic company, TV makers, what have you. They
Yeah.
know their sales increase during the holiday season, especially when you got a God of War Ragnarok coming out. Everybody's looking for a PlayStation now, so dump a massive amount of units to the market and get your money. Let's do it. But it's exciting.
Interesting to me. I know that games like Ragnarok and Last of Us 2 and like all of these like bigger games are like console movers. I understand that like on like a fundamental level. But the thing is like as somebody that just like wants to play games, like as somebody that's just like I guess more of like a filthy gamer. Um I just it's so weird
A
because I've
what
never
gamer?
bought a filthy gamer.
An
Filthy gamer. Okay.
enthusiast.
I'm enthusiast.
You
Yeah.
just don't.
I've
Okay.
just never bought a console for a specific game.
Right. We just
And
buy
so
them when they
it's so
come out.
weird
Right.
to me. Like I understand the concept, but it's just bizarre.
And
I've
also
For
another game
PlayStation.
release. This is sort of lining up with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Let's remember that. That's going to move some
Oh
consoles in
right. It comes
both
out the
markets.
holiday,
So,
right? And
yeah,
also
it comes out the end of this month.
so yeah, let's not forget the huge market share that sports games and Call of Duty have on the gaming console market. They envelop, I think, the majority of console players because the majority of console players are
Yeah.
casual players, mainstream audience. So
Madden and COD.
Madden and Cotton. I might get NBA 2K for the first time in like 6 years because I miss it. I miss basketball video games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yep, all good momentum moving into the winter. So
Mhm.
yeah, all right. Who wants to talk about Arc and a lot of money? PlayStation Plus.
I
I'll
can
pick
go.
it up. Oh, you
Oh
can go,
no, go
Bree.
ahead. No, you go
Oh, you
ahead,
want me?
Ethan. You go ahead. I'm typing something, so you go
Okay.
ahead.
All right, so Sony paid $3.5 million to put Ark Survival Evolved on PlayStation Plus. A filing with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission by Snail Games USA, the parent company to Ark developer studio Wildcard, revealed the values paid by both Microsoft and Sony. Sony paid $3.5 million to put the game on PlayStation Plus for 1 month, while Microsoft paid $2.5 million to put it on Xbox Game Pass for 6 months. Side note, the 6 months was an extension on a 3-year deal they had going already. This is one of the first insights we've had into how the process works for Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, and this comes courtesy of Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. I'm glad you put that little side note in there at the end, because the way this article was written, it very much insinuated that that Ark was given a bad deal to PlayStation, when it should be pointed out that this is an extension on an already 3-year deal that Xbox has had with Ark. So I'm glad you put in that side note, because that's a really important detail for this. I don't know. It's cool to see this money and the figures and the insight and how these deals are made, but it's one single data point out of hundreds and hundreds of video games that have been done. So I don't really think it gives us a clear picture on what these deals are
No.
like.
It doesn't give us a clear picture, but we just don't really have any picture of what's going into like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus as far as like pricing, like how much are they paying these people? Like
exactly.
what are you getting paid for if you're AA, AAA, like.
And then you have these companies also paying for some of the development costs of games that are coming day and date to these streaming services. So this is literally just them buying a third-party game to put on a platform that's already finished. We have no idea what the pricing could be for development costs.
I'm more interested to see how it works for indie devs in particular. I just think it's more interesting to see. But it's cool we have an insight here in the kinds of figures and money that are put down, like how much. I'm also interested to know how much of a opportunity cost is there to the pricing of a new release on these services, rather than the game launching day and date with regular retail on these services, as opposed to bringing a pre-existing game over. And how does that work? I think the internal back end would be interesting to see. But nevertheless, I think it's kind of a cool insight. Yeah.
I wonder how much the deal was at the beginning back in 2019 when they put Ark on for 3 years.
Yeah, that's honestly my question, because the thing is like I understand that it was still a 6-month extension, but still that's a huge price difference. Like we're talking about $1 million and 5 months in difference. And I understand that it's very much a different thing, where PlayStation is expecting a lot more people to download in 1 month because it's only available for the 1 month. So they're expecting a lot more downloads than like maybe an Xbox Game Pass, where you have some time, and so you don't have to necessarily like get it right now. But I'm just so curious, like like that is a huge price difference. And I think it's also, I kind of want to know what the filing is, but I didn't read into it. Who's being sued? What's happening? I'm nosy.
Yeah. So there. All right, Ethan, tell us about this great new name.
You want me to do the next one?
No, I'm doing the next
one. Or wait,
we got it
my
all
bad.
sorts of backwards.
Ethan just went. Yeah. Sorry, Bree. I mean,
I'm
Sam.
so mad right now.
Ethan is Sam, not Bree.
Ethan I was gonna say, am I Sam now?
No, Sam is Ethan.
Brianna's now Sam.
Who's on first? Okay, Bree, thanks.
Okay. So Square Enix Montreal rebrands as Onoma. Square Enix Montreal was acquired by Embracer Group 5 months ago. The rebrand is Greek for quote name. This comes after over 165 names considerations. Square Enix Montreal, Eidos Montreal, and Crystal Dynamics were sold to Embracer for $300 million some months ago. And one of the reasons, or at least in the article, what they were talking about why they chose this, is because it's easy to pronounce in both English and French, which I think is very interesting. I have no feelings about this besides like I guess my real question is were they forced to rename, or did they decide to rename themselves from Square Enix Montreal? If they decided, I'm totally behind it. If Embracer Group was like, you can't be Square Enix Montreal, I'm upset.
It might have been Square Enix saying they can't be Square Enix Montreal.
Yeah, I figured it would be
name without any ownership. So it's like if someone buys McDonald's And now Burger King owns McDonald's, but they still call it McDonald's.
They do that all the time. They do that all the time.
No, they don't. Burger King
Yes.
doesn't own a
Well, not
McDonald's.
not that specific
No,
thing.
this is my
But
point.
other
Is that analogy
companies.
applies here? They
Okay.
have to get rid of the Square Enix name because it's part of the branding of the company that has no stake in it anymore.
I
Yeah.
really hope that they like did like a Google like form or something like that where they're like, I think everybody should have a shot at like giving the company a new name, and I hope that they made this like a fun activity.
They should have made it Enema.
Are we committing to this or
No, we're not. I really want to see the list of 165 names because I feel like there's another word out there that's easy to say in both English and French. That's not just name.
Baguette. Baguette.
No, please don't name.
Croissant.
Yeah, I got no dogs in this fight though. This is a mobile developer. I couldn't care less about what they put out. I don't consume mobile games, but if they like it, I'm happy for them. Good for them.
Louis. I'm just putting out French words that are in English. But yeah, they're all mobile games. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Wait, what? Why is there?
What are y'all
are
doing?
you guys doing to the document?
I'm doing something because I tried to ask you a question and I didn't get an answer, so
Oh yeah, we're not gonna add that. I don't
Okay.
think. Actually,
Okay.
maybe I'll mention it here.
Okay, go ahead.
This like literally just happened a couple hours ago. That
Not even
Breaking
like it's just like
news.
breaking news.
yeah, like Tom Henderson, who runs Insider Gaming, claims that PS5 Pro and new Xbox dev kits are in developers' hands apparently for mid-gen refreshes. So yeah, this just happened like literally 2 hours ago. And the new console, the new PlayStation 5 console, will have almost the same hardware components as the OG PlayStation 5, but sources were unable to give inexact specifications on what is being upgraded or could be upgraded for the new consoles. So Sony is planning to produce 30.5 million consoles by fall 2023, with 18.5 being the new PlayStation 5 with a detachable disc drive. And the new console in development now, the mid-gen refresh, will replace the current systems, likely to be on the market for a similar price as the current digital edition, apparently, with the detachable drive coming separately or in a bundle. So, yeah, this just happened. So it's still unclear if these are actually like a PS5 Pros or Xbox Series XXs. Or if it's just the PS5 Slim, Xbox Slim type deal. But we'll give you guys, listeners and video viewers, a more concrete view next week of what's going on with this. See what devs are saying, see what the companies are saying or lack thereof, and yeah. But I think with that diversion, going to the PlayStation Plus catalog lineup for October. So over at or actually, should I do this story? I just did this last breaking news story, but
I can do it.
Go ahead. I was gonna say it's just reading games. Just read the list. Get it out.
We have so many games on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah,
it is a lot of games.
We got the lineup for October. For the extra tier, you'll be getting GTA Vice City, the Definitive Edition, Dragon Quest 11S Echoes of Elusive Age, Definitive Edition, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Dragon Quest Builders, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest Heroes, The World Trees Woe and the Blight Below, Dragon Quest Heroes 2, Explorers Edition, Inside, The Medium, Naruto to Boruto, Shinobi Striker, Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, India, and Russia, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and Hohokum? Is that how you say it?
Hohokum. Yeah,
Hohokum?
I've been wanting to play this for so long. So
and on the premium tier, you'll be getting Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 remastered PS4 versions, Limbo PS4 version, Ultra Street Fighter 4 PS4 version, Castlevania Lords of Shadow PS3 streaming only, and Everyday Shooter or PS3. This comes to us at the courtesy of Adam Michael at PlayStation Blog. A decent haul of games for PS Plus. Obviously the big dump of Assassin's Creed's really cool. If players would want to go out and sink their teeth into one of those huge adventures, that's awesome. Odyssey and Origins did they say Origins? Or is Origins already on PS Plus?
Valhalla's there. I don't know if Origins is there.
Oh, no Assassin's Creed Origins. That's pretty weird.
This is a
But
disappointment. How can
I could completely change my mind. No, really cool. Odyssey's a great Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed 3 is underrated criminally, I think. I think a lot of people crap on that game a lot.
A little
I
bit.
crap on it.
The Medium.
I poo poo on it.
Oh my goodness. The Medium is a great horror game that was an
I
Xbox
wanna play it so
exclusive for a while. And I think the Medium is a cool thing to talk about because that was an Xbox exclusive for a year and now we're seeing it on PS Plus. I think this is going to be the new strategy for timed exclusives that we're seeing by both of these companies. We just saw Deathloop lose its exclusivity to PlayStation after its year deal was up. Immediately it gets thrown on streaming services. Now we're seeing the Medium, which I think it's already been on PlayStation for a little while, but now it's coming to PS Plus. Obviously, Bloober Team's not owned by any of these companies. It was a little easier for Xbox to get Deathloop on Game Pass because they own Arcane Studios. But I think that's cool to kind of see this pattern now that these timed exclusives, pretty much once the timed exclusivity is over, you're gonna get it on one of the streaming services eventually. So I like seeing those patterns because it can help me kind of figure out what I want to do and where I want to play these games. Like Deathloop, for example, is I just waited because I knew that was coming to Game Pass.
Same. I waited for PC. Game Pass
and
PC, yeah.
Yeah, so going forward, I think people should really focus on that. GTA Vice City Definitive Edition.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't get the whole trilogy. And if they only were going to get one game, why wasn't it San Andreas?
Because PlayStation Plus did get San Andreas another month, some months back, I think.
Oh, okay.
On the service, it might have left by now, but they did come, and
So they're
I actually
trickling
wanted
it.
I've actually wanted to play Vice City. Like I never played it before, and I've been waiting for the game, the GTA trilogy to get bug fixes and stuff. So I might actually check out Vice City. I think this is a really solid list. Also, AC Odyssey is awesome to see on here.
Yep.
That just scared me.
Aubrey, come on.
Oh, Luna.
I wasn't
Ethan, did you mention
expecting
the
them
premium
meow.
games that were coming out?
Yeah, we
Okay.
already read the full
Yeah.
list all the
I
way
guess I
through.
didn't hear it for some reason, but Yakuza 5 Remastered, like I said, I've been playing that on PC.
Mhm.
Good remaster. So yeah, also I want to add a revision to what I said about the new PS5 and Xbox dev kits. What I was talking about when I said the new console reported 30.5 million consoles in fall of 2023 in the detachable disk drive, that news is actually separate. That detachable disk drive console is separate from the new console that's being reported.
Mhm.
This new dev kits are upgrades are supposed to be upgrades, a quote unquote PS5 Pro and a Series X Pro or Series XX, as I said. So those are separate from the detachable disk drive upgrade. So we have two consoles reportedly in the pipeline here over the next several years that are coming up for the PS5. So just wanted to clarify that.
And real quick, I got another article here that has to do with GTA Vice City. There was kind of a little bit of a leak on the PlayStation blog in Japan. It showed the time frame for when Vice City is going to leave PS Plus, and it's going to be February 20th, 2023. So you have 4 months to play this game. And I kind of wanted to open this up a little bit as a bit of a conversation. We talked about how Ark is a 1 month deal before they came out and said that. Well, they didn't come out. We had to dig for it at an SEC filing. And then you have this now, Vice City, February 20th, 2023, which gives us only 4 months to play these games. With these limited timeframes to play these games, especially in a busy season for games, do you think Xbox and PlayStation should be more forward about when these games are going to leave the service instead of just hitting us with, hey, it's leaving soon, and then we have to scramble to pick it up?
Well,
I don't
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
James?
I don't think so
No?
because the thing is like it doesn't matter unless it's like literally like one day. It doesn't super matter like when it's leaving as long as they give notice. If it's taken off of the service without notice, then I think that that's pretty rude. But if they're giving like a month notice, like, hey, because the thing is in order to keep these games, so like for example, like let's say you want Hohokum's only on for a month. I mean, that's not the case, but like let's say that is the case. If you all you have to do is click add to library. You don't even have to download it on your console. You just click add to library and then you have the game forever.
Wait.
So it's
No,
really
you lose access once it's taken off the service.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's only you only have access
Oh,
to a
is that
PlayStation Plus
You're
game
thinking of
as
Games
long
for
as either
Gold
you have a
or
subscription to the service or
Mhm.
the game is on the service you subscribe to. If one of those things fails, you lose access to the game completely.
That's so
yeah.
okay, so for just regular PlayStation Plus, the
Mhm.
games, once you add it from regular PlayStation Plus, you have it forever unless you cancel your subscription.
For
But
PlayStation
it's
Plus, it's
only
essential.
available
For essential,
right,
yes.
so that's what I was going to ask. So,
For
that's
extra
how
or
it works for
premium,
essential,
no.
but it doesn't work that way for extra?
I don't think
No.
sorry, let me clarify. I don't think it works that way for extra.
That would
Because
be
I
wild.
thought that it did.
That would be actually really
I don't
wild.
think it does. If the game leaves the service, you lose access, I think.
I'm gonna look this up.
Yeah,
You
because
guys
I'm
you guys keep going. I did wanna shout out, I literally own the medium, and I bought it, like, maybe a month after release, never played
yeah,
it. I don't know what I'm
it's
doing
a good
here. I
game. You
love
should try
horror
it.
games. I should play it. What am I doing? But
But
anyways.
you look at this list and you see a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. My God, that's a big game. I
Yeah,
sunk 180 hours into
that's
it.
one that I was
If you
thinking of.
got 3 months to play that and you don't know, you need to figure out where you're going to fit that into your schedule.
Yeah.
Because we got Requiem coming up, Plague Tale Requiem coming up. We got Modern Warfare 2. We got the Resident Evil DLC dropping. We got Ragnarok. If you want me to squeeze in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you got to let me know when that's leaving so I know when to play this game. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I
Yeah.
think if you're going to do like a year deal, okay, you're giving us enough time to kind of play
Interesting.
that. But if you're going to keep doing these 1 month, 4 month, 6 month deals, let me know so I can fit this into my schedule.
I think a reason they might not let you
Hmm.
know is um subscriber retention.
Yeah,
If it's less marketable for a company to tell you this item is coming to our subscription service and it's leaving in 45 days or whatever, or
yeah,
60
but
days or 30 days,
that's
you
like
as a consumer, you're
dishonest,
immediately let know that my access, your first thought is my access is limited, not I
right?
have access today. By them not telling you, it gives you the illusion that you'll have access to a certain show, like if it's a streaming service like a Netflix or a game indefinitely until one day they say leaving soon. So I think it's from a marketability perspective,
Mm.
they withhold the leaving information as a consumer to make your perceiving of the service indefinite until otherwise rather than limited. So I think that's actually in my opinion, their main motivation for not letting you know off the bat, hey, this game's only going to be here for a month or 2 months
Yeah,
or
that
6 months.
just that rubs
Hmm.
me the wrong way.
Yeah, I know it does, but I
It's
think that's how they
disingenuous.
probably think about it.
Because like when you brought up the point about Netflix and like video streaming services, that's different, than video games. Like video games,
It's true.
eh,
They
you
are different.
a
Yeah,
lot of people play games differently. Like for me, playing Red Dead Redemption, I'm going to spend a lot of time in this game exploring. If I only had a month to play this, I would have to be rushing through the main storyline right now just to be able to finish the game.
right.
And I really do think these companies should just come up because obviously they have the dates, they have the deals. We know they know when it's going to
Hmm.
leave. PlayStation said accidentally in the Japan PlayStation blog that Vice City's leaving on February 20th. They have the exact dates. Why not just throw that up there? It bothers me a little bit, but it
Yeah,
is
but,
what it
like, a
is.
lot of services don't do that, right?
Right.
Like, because it's not just it's like Netflix does that as
They
well.
say last day to watch at the end of
Yeah.
this month, and then you have
Yeah,
to.
Mhm.
but you just have to click a button and you don't have control over how fast you go there. A video game, you're interacting with it. You play your game the way
Yeah,
you want to play it, as slow or as fast. I don't want to be forced to rush through a game because, like, damn, it's
yeah,
on the leaving soon list and I forgot to play
yeah.
it.
What might be a good compromise is if they don't, for the company, if they don't say it outright, but in like the game info page, it'll show you in the game info tab
Yeah,
how
because it
long
doesn't need to
it's
be
on
in,
the
like, the
service.
blog
Yeah,
or anything like that, but if they did put it in the
Right.
info, I
yeah.
think that's fine.
Bree, did you get
I'm
any
going to
clarification on the?
I did. So, essential, yes, you can keep forever. Extra and premium, it is not forever.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Um, which I didn't know, and that bumps me out just a tiny bit, but I think because of that, I am flip-flopping to Ethan's side. I think they should say
Okay, yeah.
Hell
something.
Well,
yeah.
also, if it's a first party game that's coming extra or premium, it's going to be there forever. But if it's not first party, it has an expiration date, right? It's like
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass first party will always be on Xbox Game Pass. Sony
The
first
other
party, if
Right.
they're on extra premium, will stay on those tiers, I think.
One of the things I'm curious about as to maybe part of the reason why they don't say the date is because sometimes they have a deal like Xbox did for 3 years or whatever, and then they want to end up extending it for a few months or something like that. So I wonder if they don't say the dates like that because they don't want people to know when they're extending those deals.
True.
Because then, like they're like, oh, we just spent money on extending this rather than just saying, oh, this is leaving soon.
I do have to say though, there have been instances where Xbox has put games on like the leaving soon, and then all of a
And
sudden,
they come
boom,
back.
they come back. Like
Yep.
Origami 2, the developer just came out and said, "Hey, we're actually going to extend on Game Pass." So it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yakuza. I think the Yakuza games
show.
3, 4, 5 came back to Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Wait, Brie, did you say something?
I just said for sure, but
Oh, for sure.
just like I said it really weird. So that's
I thought you
all
said
I
for
got.
show.
I said faux show.
Oh, okay.
I told you I said it weird. I wasn't
Okay.
gonna repeat it, but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, I don't think I've already played Inside, and I do own the medium. Do I play the medium on my PlayStation 5 or I probably play it on my PC?
Play it on PC.
I have it on Steam.
If you have it, you have a 3080 GPU now, right?
Yeah, I have a 3080.
That blows the PS5 performance in terms of its graphics card out of the water. So
See,
if
but
you're
my
yeah,
PlayStation 5 controller connects automatically to my PlayStation 5.
just plug
You
it
know
into
what
your
I mean?
PC.
But then I have to plug it into the PC.
Oh yeah, you have to spend 15 seconds. Yeah,
It's a lot of time.
play it on
I
PC.
agree with you, Brianna.
And also,
I
it's
agree
easier to
with you.
stream
Thank you.
if you play it on PC.
That's actually not true.
What? It's harder to stream PC games than it is PlayStation games?
It's not more or less difficult because the way I have it set up, so my monitor has multiple HDMI's, so I can switch between the HDMI's on my main
Oh,
monitor,
right, you have an
and then
Elgato. Forgot. Yeah.
and I have my
Yeah.
Elgato. So all I have to do is just tell my Elgato to turn on, which you do that by turning on the PlayStation 5, switch my display, and like it just picks up automatically on the stream. It's beautiful, it's seamless. Love I love my monitor so much. Because I have never had a monitor that has multiple HDMI's, which sounds crazy, but
Mhm.
like my ultra wide monitor just has like the one, I guess it's like one display port, and no HDMI's. So I am obsessed with this monitor. It's beautiful. And it has speakers, which scared me.
Is it a new monitor? When'd you get it?
Yeah, I got it at the same time as my 3080.
Oh, what monitor? Send me the link after the show.
Okay. I don't remember what I
Is it a
got.
Samsung ultra wide? I guess I'll ask.
It's a gigabyte. My ultra wide is an MSI. I've
Oh,
had
wait,
that
you have
for
an
like
ultra
2
wide
years.
and regular monitors.
Yep. So I have my 2K monitor, which is a gigabyte, and then I have my ultra wide monitor, which is an MSI, and it's like about 2 years old now.
Oh, I only have a 14. Yeah, I have a 2K or 1440p monitors my primary, and then a 1080p secondary.
If
That's what
you get an ultra wide monitor, I wouldn't recommend this one because it doesn't go on
oh,
the
I'm not gonna.
universal stand,
I
and
don't
so
think
I
I'm getting
can't turn it sideways.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get an ultra wide. I don't
I
think.
highly recommend an ultra wide monitor as your second monitor, especially if you
As
want
a
to do any
second
sort of
monitor?
yeah.
What
As
do you mean?
I have 2 monitors.
An ultra wide is a secondary.
Yes, my ultra wide is my secondary monitor because that's it. I can use it for editing and stuff.
I've never with how big an ultra wide
Got a
is. I don't
high
know how you use
roller
that as a
over
second
here.
monitor.
I'm very confused right now.
When you say secondary monitor, like you have it off to the side.
Yes, my ultra wide is like sideways from me. It's like
It just
this.
like the size of it. The size having an ultra wide as a secondary display, just from a size perspective, seems way out of whack.
Wait,
Yeah,
but
well, I
Taylor,
would
have you
prefer to
seen?
turn it sideways so that way I can just have like the tall.
Oh,
But
you have
this
it
doesn't.
vertical,
I don't have it vertical. That's why I was complaining about this monitor. Is you can't turn it
right?
vertical, and
Okay,
it
but you're gonna have to
upsets
send me a
me.
picture of your setup after this. Now I'm interested.
Okay,
You haven't. I was gonna say you haven't seen the picture of her setup. I'm pretty sure she sent it in
I have
Discord. So
before.
it looks
But
good. It doesn't look like bad. Yeah,
Wow,
it
thank
looks
you,
pretty dope.
thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Do you guys want to know something crazy? I turned my PS4 on this week.
why?
Wow.
It's okay. I will try and shorten the story. I basically was trying to figure out if so I have the breast cancer skin for Mercy, like the breast cancer awareness skin that they
Oh, an
donated a bunch of
Overwatch.
money.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out if I had it on my PlayStation 4 still, but when I tried to open it on my PlayStation, I had to turn on my PlayStation 4 because I was like, did my PlayStation 4 account for Overwatch move to my PlayStation 5? Additionally, can I merge that with my PC Overwatch account, because before it was not cross progression. So I'm trying to figure out if I can merge these accounts, and where my it's called Pink, like the Pink Mercy skin. I'm trying to figure out where my Pink Mercy skin is, because this was like a lot of money to get this. I mean, not a lot of money, but like a lot of money to get this skin. It's like $20 skin or whatever, and it's like my favorite skin in the entire game. So yeah, I had a whole panic. So I like had to plug in my PlayStation 4, set it up, plug it in. Couldn't figure it out. Had to submit a support ticket to. Anyways, it was a mess. It was a mess, but I do have it in the game now, and it's hot.
Nice.
Breast cancer awareness.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, with that large excursion out of the way, Miles Morales is coming to PC November 18th. Is it my turn? No,
I think it's Brianna's turn.
I think it's Brianna's turn.
I mean,
talking about that ultra wide monitor, you can play.
If you want to take this one, so I can take the next one, I won't be mad.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll make that deal. So, Miles Morales is coming to PC on November 18th, which is about a month from the time of this recording. And the PC features include ray trace reflections, ray trace shadows, full ultra-wide support for 21:9, 32:9, 48:9 triple monitor aspect ratios. We have cinematics up to 32:9 support, DLSS 3.0 for 40 series NVIDIA GPUs. Catch that. They're going to make the $3070 $900 after the... That's a whole other conversation. Anyway,
yeah, that's a long conversation too.
DLSS 2.0, NVIDIA, DLAA, and AA is anti-aliasing, and SS is super sampling, pretty sure. And NVIDIA Reflex. NVIDIA Reflex is a new feature of the 4000 series cards. Is also supported. And customizable graphics like any PC game, but also including crowd and traffic density, which I thought was particularly interesting to customize. And recommended specs for 1080p at 60 FPS are GTX 1060 or RX 580 with an Intel i5 4670 or Ryzen 5 1600 processor. So still good. Like, this is a playable PC game for most PC gamers, I think. And customizable control options for mouse and keyboard and controllers. And if you're using a DualSense wired, you get all the adaptive trigger and haptic features.
That's good
and
to
hear. Miles Morales will be available on both Steam and Epic.
Ew.
And this comes to us from Julian, has a Nordic last name, from the Nix's developer PlayStation blog. So Bree, I remember you talking about how does Nix's get their hands on games, or when in the process? You know, and an example like this, certainly after launch, they're working on them, they throw them to PC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think really cool, comprehensive update for Miles Morales on PC, and it's
I'm
coming in
gonna
a
say
month.
here, vote with your wallet. Don't get this on the Epic Store.
Yeah.
We don't want the Epic Store.
Please.
Get rid of it.
And it's $50, I'm pretty sure, on PC.
I'm so sick of the Epic Store. I'm not.
I get their free games and then I leave.
Can I also point out just how cool it is that you can have the haptic features and adaptive triggers on a PC port for a PlayStation game? I think that's such a great selling point for playing these games on PC. I think that's something really cool that they're doing.
I do really enjoy that. I don't think any of the other games have. Well, I don't want to say any of the other games, but I haven't heard that specifically mentioned before. So I really enjoy the adaptive triggers on PlayStation 5. Specifically, Returnal has some really good adaptive trigger mechanics.
I'm sure that PC port will have all the good stuff.
Oh, that game is so hot.
Nice.
Does anybody else have anything to say about Miles Morales coming to PC?
Nope.
Nope. Great game. Play it.
All right. Woo! Okay. Data within the most recent Elden Ring patch seems to hint at ray tracing. So excited. And new locations. The update includes separating damage scaling for PvP and PvE. But Lance McDonald, a developer and From Software game modder, noted that the menu strings related to ray tracing features were added. Lance and another From Software community member, Zuli the Witch. What is that word?
Ote, you've never seen that word before?
No.
No, it's not a word. Don't worry about it.
So there's basically data references to two maps that don't exist in Elden Ring's data right now. So basically the way that the maps work is they have them numbered, and the highest number right now is I think 25 or something like that. And they have the newest one hints at 45. So if we're going off of like that's like they're not skipping any numbers, it sounds like the DLC will be that.
Yeah,
And I'm so
really,
excited.
really cool info coming out of this. What do you want to call it? Leak, data mine, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it. Data mine. Um, I think we've known for a while that the plan was for Elden Ring to have DLC. We had no idea what
absolutely.
the scale is, but you talking about how this is going to be a really big DLC, that's really interesting. Just
I mean,
to
I
know
don't
that.
know for sure,
Well, yeah,
but it
I,
sounds
I'll.
like it'd be
I'm
pretty
just taking your word for it because it sounds like you know
good.
what you're talking about
Yeah.
more than me. But
From Software always makes DLC for their either how do I say this? Ever since Dark Souls 1, From Software has never failed to make a DLC for every
right.
game they've released.
And the
Mhm.
thing is with From Software, they're not just like making DLC either.
Oh,
They're making like huge
yeah,
DLCs,
and they
Yeah.
start
and
they
they're
start
really
development
good.
after the game releases. Like they're not cutting content. Like they start development
Hmm.
for the DLC right after the game hits the market, and it's like big, expansive, hefty DLC. Like some
Yeah,
of the best parts of Bloodborne for me are in the
in
DLC.
the DLC.
My favorite boss fight of all time, Lady Maria, is in the Bloodborne DLC.
Wow.
Like they don't screw around.
Yeah, the DLC, I really think that like I wish that more devs did DLC the way that From Software does DLC. I don't want to like knock on wood, don't want to jinx it for Elden Ring, but man, like they really do put like their heart and soul into the DLC. It's not just like, oh, we're just like adding some extra content kind of thing. They like they really put all of their little From Software souls into those
Yeah.
DLCs. And with how amazing Elden Ring is, I have really high expectations for this DLC. Um, and I'm very, very excited. Like I said, I've been playing Elden Ring recently because I finally got past this freaking boss that I will have nightmares when I play through Elden Ring again.
Oh,
But uh, I'm so excited about this news,
awesome.
especially the ray tracing too. It's gonna look so
Yeah.
good.
Someone who hasn't played Elden Ring since March, do you think it's possible for me to pick it back up without restarting?
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
legitimately, because I stopped playing for about 5 months. It's
Okay.
going to take you there is, like, a little bit it's not the same learning curve as when you first jump into the game,
No. But
but
yeah.
you still have that learning curve where it's like, I'm jumping back into a game that has a lot of mechanics, but you pretty much pick it up really quickly. I would
Mhm.
not recommend playing Returnal and Elden Ring at the same time
No.
because their control scheme is almost opposite to each other. So I would like the crouch button is the sprint button and, like, vice versa. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's awful. So don't play those 2 games side by side, but as long as you don't do that, you're good.
All right. And
Taylor, I'm
and
assuming you want this next story.
No, I want Ethan to read this
I
next
don't know. Yeah,
story.
Me
Ethan,
too.
you read it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or Sam. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam. Lady Dimitrescu shrunk for multiplayer. In the upcoming Resident Evil Village DLC that launches on October 28th, Capcom plans to release a major update to the Mercenaries mode. This update will allow players to control characters like Chris Redfield, Carl Heisenberg, and Lady Alcina Dimitrescu. In a recent interview with Polygon, Kento Kinoshita, it was revealed that Lady Dom's height had to be adjusted to avoid player bumping into the ceiling. The good news is one of her attacks is a furniture attack. So if anyone says anything about your height, just throw a vanity at them. Pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not going to play the multiplayer at all. I'm here for the
I'm not gonna play
Winter's
the multiplayer
expansion.
at all, but
But
Mhm.
it makes sense that they had to shrink her down a bit because Lady Dimitrescu is massive in Resident Evil Village. It would be kind of strange to have that in a multiplayer setting.
I think it's
yeah.
fine if she's
She's
not
still
shrunk.
massive though. They were very clear about
Yeah.
that in the interview. They're like, she's still very tall. But I just thought this was just like a fun story and also another reason for us to be a thirsty podcast again. So um we did deliver. There is a I'm not gonna read it, but there is a comic strip in our document that's very thirsty. So
Lord have
What
mercy.
are you talking about? Who put that there?
who put that there? It definitely
Sam.
couldn't have been
I
Taylor.
wonder why.
Sam put it there. Wow.
Yeah, Sam.
Not you, Sam, but the other Sam.
The
Yeah, Sam put
OG.
it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have any listener questions for this week, but there we have a lot of prompts
Oh,
here.
you're not even gonna react to that story, Taylor?
Yeah, Taylor, you're not gonna say
Justice
nothing
for
about that?
I
Lady
mean, look,
Dom.
what is there to add? Like, yeah, she's gonna
You
kill
should
me,
be
and
furious.
That's gonna be fine.
I can't believe she shortened her eyes.
Look, well, all right. Is it as long as she's still there? I'm a happy camper,
Mm.
and she's still
You have
I'll
not
show
played Village, right?
No, not yet, but I'm
Oh
interested in
man,
playing it one
I
day
would
because
love watching you play
7
that
scared the shit out
game.
of me, and I've
it's not as scary as
I've wanted to
7.
try like
I
RE7 was my first
strongly
RE
disagree with
game.
that.
What, Ethan?
Ethan says it's not as scary as 7, and I strongly disagree. I was
Okay.
so
What?
much
Are
more
you
scared
kidding
playing
me?
8.
I tried to
There's
get
no
into
way you were more scared
RE7,
playing
and
8
it's
than
my first
7.
Resident Evil, and I like couldn't make it past 4 or 5 hours. Like I was genuinely petrified, and like
You
I
know, in Resident Evil 7, that first door you go into and then you close the door and it's pitch black in that house. I quit the game at that. I can't do Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 8 played through the whole game. I was
Really?
Okay,
perfectly
I
fine.
have to
Yeah.
say, like, the atmosphere of 7 is much more scary than being in like a village. But
okay.
I was definitely like there are just higher highs in 8. Specifically, like I won't go to get into it, but the
The
dollhouse,
dollhouse.
I was
Yeah.
shaking so I've never
That one
shaken
was bad.
so bad like in a
Uh-oh.
video game to the point where like my hand was like the
That's
keyboard was clicking
yeah.
because
And it
my
was
hands
that
were
scary.
shaking.
Is it like more atmospherically scary, or like there was
No,
like
it's just legitimately scary. Like
I will say
I don't want to spoil it for you because I know you're
and
gonna play
that's
it.
in
It's just
Village.
scary.
the majority of the gameplay
Yeah.
feels like you're in a much more open space compared to Resident Evil 7. Like you have more areas to maneuver. There's more like looting and ammunition and stuff like that around. But damn, that dollhouse. Yeah, no,
That
that's
What if I
dollhouse.
that's
played
the point you have to
oh,
get
yeah.
past to beat
What if
this
I played
game.
in third person? Maybe that'll make it better.
If
Yes.
I'm going to argue that it's going to make it worse, but I will be
No.
playing it in third person when it comes out on the 28th. So we will see if I'm more scared or less
Okay.
scared. But I have a feeling that the thing that makes me scared in the dollhouse is going to be that much more terrifying.
Oh.
Oh no.
Well, maybe I'll pick it up during the Steam Winter Sale or sometime sooner because RE8 goes on sale like so often.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Capcom is very aggressive with the sales of their games, so
And
if
and
it's
there's a
like
reason it was a
yeah.
Game of the Year award nominee. It's a great video
It's a
game.
fantastic game. I
All
will
right.
say the voice acting is very cheesy, so just
Oh
be
yeah.
aware of like very cheesy dialogue. But if you can get past that, like the gameplay is very solid and you kind of have these like almost curated experiences. So you have like a werewolf experience, like a dollhouse experience, really hot tall lady chasing you around experience.
Yay.
So you just have these like almost like small like little like experiences within the game that I really think the game is well done. But
Okay. All right. I think I'll give it a shot eventually, guys. Thanks. So
you're
yeah.
welcome. What are we doing for Limitless? I'm
I don't know.
always
We have a lot of
excited to see
prompts
which
here.
one you pick.
What about Sam? What do you want to pick?
Oh, let's see. Do you guys want to talk about the Dead Space remake?
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So with all the Dead Space hands-on details being recently released, are you looking forward to the Dead Space remake, and will you be playing it? Fits our horror theme here. Taylor, have you played Dead Space before? Are you
I'm
going to play
actually
the
in the
remake?
middle of my first playthrough of Dead Space. I have to pick back up.
Really?
But I've enjoyed what I played, and I haven't gotten overtly scared from it. I've heard there's like an eye scene in Dead Space 2 that gives people
Yeah. I don't
like
like eye stuff, and Dead
like
Space likes eye stuff.
that gets people like really scared. But Dead Space 1 so far, it's been really good. I'll be playing the remake probably in the future after I
Right.
beat Dead Space 1, and some time has gone since I've beaten it. I don't think I'll be playing Dead Space remake at launch, but I think you and Kevin are really interested in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And yeah, how about you?
So Dead Space 1 was probably the first actual horror game I've ever played through, like start to finish. So it's a pretty special game for me because it's one of those games where I finally got over my fear of horror video games, and I still have that to an extent, but I can tough it out now. I can play like The Last of Us or Resident Evil 8. Every once in a while there's a game where it's like, no, I can't play this. Like Dead Island was one of those games. I
Maybe
was just
you
like,
and me
no.
are on the same level ground here when it comes to dealing with horror games, Ethan.
Yeah, it's very wishy-washy with me. It's weird, but Dead Space was the first game I was actually able to sit down and play through. So I'll be really interested to see if I could still do it with it being remastered and some brand new graphics, and then it's going to be a lot scarier. I'm sure the soundscape is going to be a lot more terrifying. So
The
and
it'll be
original, so
interesting.
I was looking up the original
And
like the information for a different reason, but the original Dead Space did win the BAFTA Game Awards for audio. So um
Yeah,
hopefully we'll see that
yeah,
kind of
and
energy again.
isn't the protagonist voiced in the remake? And Isaac Clarke was not voiced in the original Dead Space 1.
I'm not sure.
oh, I'm not sure.
I
I'm
think
trying to
that's
remember.
think that's true.
I do want to say I was looking this up because I was like, am I crazy? What did this release on? So this game released on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Windows. I was like so confused because I was like, I'm so sure I played this on iPad. Looked it up. It is on iOS. It is.
Oh,
It is
okay.
on iOS.
Okay, so
And so I
Isaac is
did
getting.
play this on iPad. So
Wait,
I
add an
mean, I haven't
iOS
played it.
port? That's amazing.
It did an iOS and Android port, and I did not play it all the way through because I got too scared, and it was terrible on iPad.
Yeah.
Don't recommend it.
Yeah, no.
Interesting. You got too scared of Dead Space, but I can't deal with Resident Evil 7. I don't know how that works. But
Yeah.
I
so
don't either.
So yeah, voice actor Gunnar Wright, who played Isaac in the other Dead Space entries, is reprising his role in the remake, but only under quote certain situations apparently. Um, Isaac won't talk all the time. There are instances that will prompt him to speak, like when he's spoken to, and in a quote situation where it would feel weird if he remained silent.
Hmm.
This is just an article from GameSpot I pulled up about it. So interesting. But yeah, I'm happy for folks who are playing it. Seems like from the previews, if you have this on Fantasy Critic, you're in for a good score.
Mm.
Yeah, what about, sorry, Bree, are you going to play it?
I am absolutely going to be playing it. I definitely, I was thinking about it. The answer to your question is that I used to not be into horror as much. I have always like kind of had this like base level of love of horror. But I used to be a lot more easily scared. And so like I couldn't have handled something like that when I was younger, like when that would have been on my iPad. I so definitely like I will say that like my tolerance level has gone up significantly because the way that I dealt with my breakup 2 years ago was to watch horror movies. Really weird thing that I did, but my tolerance has gone way up because of that. So yeah, I will say I did play 7 after that. After my tolerance had already been raised. So
Now, to
I will
kind
be
of
playing this.
go along with this question, are we all playing Callisto Protocol, and are we
I
going
was
to do a
just
spoiler
looking
cast
that
on it?
up.
Maybe I'll play Callisto Protocol.
Because I will play it.
There is a lot of questions I have on Callisto Protocol. I have not been paying attention to it. I usually try to ignore games if they haven't been released yet. Do we know, like, because is this open world or
No.
is this
It's
like a
very-
curated experience?
Very
It's
like
going
Dead
to be
Space.
curated. Yeah, it's going to be a lot
Okay,
like
then
Dead
yes, I will
Space.
be playing it because I do love open world survival horror, but that's like a lot more of a commitment
Right.
than like just doing like a curated
I think he
experience.
said the director of the game, who's the same guy who directed the Dead Space, he said it's
Yeah, Glenn
about
Schofield.
12 to 15 hours. It's not going to be
Perfect.
a crazy long game, but it's going to be packed with a lot of horror, a lot of like dialogue, a lot of like, sounds. I think they said they recorded like hundreds and thousands of different noises for this game. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I will be playing this then. I will probably be playing so my heart always says to play things on my PlayStation 5, but realistically, like I will probably be playing this on my PC.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It looks beautiful from what I've seen. So definitely
The only way I'd play this on console is if I had a really nice 4K TV. Like the Callisto Protocol would be a type of game where I'd want to put it up. Well, then you could also max that on PC. If you have ultra wide support, never mind. It's like seems like a game that'll really look very nice.
I will say I don't use my ultra wide monitor for gaming. I use my 2K monitor because my 2K monitor has higher resolution and it also has a higher, what is it called? The color range.
Okay. Interesting.
So
cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. Well, that said, maybe we should move on to maybe I'll ask. Do you guys want to do another one? Or
I was going to ask if you guys wanted to do the last one because it's pertinent to this weekend, but it's up to you guys.
I'm down if you guys want to.
We can talk about it. So the Bayonetta voice actress, Helena Taylor, recently broke her NDA to say that she was offered $4,000 for Bayonetta 3, and she turned it down and wants her Twitter followers to boycott the game as a response. I guess, and then what are your guys' thoughts on it? This just happened a few days ago. I think there was
like
further
2 days ago, maybe.
Yeah, there's some stuff swirling around over this that Platinum was in such a position that they didn't want to. They wanted the role to be. I heard this off from looking a few places that they wanted the role to be recast, but because she had so much legacy voicing Bayonetta, they didn't want to just tell her, no, we have another candidate. So they intentionally lowballed her offer so that she would reject, and they passed her up for who would become Jennifer Hale, which from an etiquette point of view is really bad and stupid
That's weird.
That's
as a
just messed up.
company.
You just
Just
say
say you
like,
don't want her.
just say
Like,
something.
yeah, my
Yeah.
point is, I don't know how genuine offering her $4,000 actually was, and Platinum actually thought they were giving her some, quote unquote good money for it.
Right.
If I think the scenario I just said with the sending a lowball offer so she would reject it seems more likely, but it's really weird, and
I don't know. That sounds like they're just like trying to cover their butts.
yeah.
Honestly, I think that like
No, they didn't say it themselves. This is just conjecture I was finding
yeah.
online.
So that's what I'm saying is like we until it's confirmed. Like honestly, like I'm just going to at this point take her at her word because she literally broke
Right.
NDA to talk about this. Like she's like,
Which
you know,
I don't know if this was the best move by her because she's going to get sued into oblivion and people are not going to
yeah,
boycott this
Yeah,
game.
and
It's
she might
I know,
also
but
get blacklisted when it comes to voice acting as a
yeah,
voice actor
this is
herself.
going to be bad for her career wise too.
it's going to be bad for her career wise. But I think that it hopefully will help the industry like voice acting wise because like honestly being offered okay so like she like in her you can go watch she made a video and basically like she looked up the numbers from like how much money like Nintendo made from selling the game,
Oh,
not
it's
merchandise, not
hundreds of
anything else,
millions. Yeah.
millions of dollars, and they're offering her 4,000 and
Hmm.
for like Bayonetta 3 is expected to be the best selling Bayonetta game of all time. Like this game has been like everybody's been looking forward to this game for a very long time.
Right.
And there's a lot of hype around this game and it's absolutely heartbreaking that she was offered $4,000, which honestly where she lives, which is like LA area, that's not even like 2 full months of rent.
Oh, she lives in
Like of
LA?
rent. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's that's like that money is nothing, especially to like a company like Nintendo who we know is just sitting on tons of money. I understand it's Platinum Games, but there's no way that they couldn't afford to
But
pay
what
her a
about
lot more.
royalties? They must get royalties from game
Nope, they
sales.
offered her she
It was
specifically
a flat
mentioned
rate.
this. It was a flat rate. We're not giving you any percent of the sales.
Yeah, so that had to have been a purposeful lowball offer, right? Like that's crazy to think that.
That's I hope so. I hope that that's true because if they really like full-heartedly offered her $4,000 like in good faith, that's
Yeah,
awful.
All right,
that's like
maybe
something out of an indie game or something. That's not Bayonetta. That's
That's
crazy.
not Bayonetta.
I feel like I don't know enough to definitively say this completely sucks. I don't. I wish I knew the whole situation more about what actually happened. I'd like to take. I mean, yeah, I'd like to
I
take her
mean,
out. I mean, I guess yeah. I guess I have
if
to
we
take.
take the story at what we know now, which like just taking the story at face value, I think it's okay to say that like with the information that we currently have, this is messed up. I'm not saying that this
It
story
Right.
can't
looks like it's
develop.
messed up, but I
I c-
don't think I know enough to say this 100% is horrible. Like, I mean, it looks bad, but I don't have all the facts, and I don't feel confident saying that this completely sucks without knowing more.
Yeah,
that's
and
fair.
I think
I respect that for sure.
the only other thing we've gotten really out of this is the creator of Bayonetta, the guy who's the game director for all of those games. He basically tweeted like, "There's a lot of
He's
untruth going around right
Oh
now," which I
yeah,
mean,
and then he blocked, and then
but
he's coming, yeah, and then he
he's
started
kind of a
blocking a lot
he's
of
jerk
people.
yeah,
anyways.
he's not the greatest of people in the world, so
No,
I don't
he's
know if I
not.
really care what he
Yeah, I was gonna
says.
say I don't like the thing is like I don't want to even pay attention to what he's doing because
Yep.
he's kind of just like a jerk anyways. Like apparently on Twitter he calls people bugs and like blocks them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And he like won't like he'll block people that try and tweet him in English, I guess. I don't know.
He's a very
Like
hateful person.
he's kind of not a very nice
Mm.
person, so
So it wouldn't
that
surprise me if
doesn't look good for the
Yeah,
yeah.
I
company in
guess to
general,
wrap
but
it up, I guess it looks bad, and I wish I knew more.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully
I
we
hope,
will know more.
and I wish all the best to Helena after she's gonna have to deal with whatever
Oh yeah.
legal, financial, and personal fallout comes from this.
yeah,
So
I do. I genuinely wish her the best. Like she deserved so much more money than $4,000.
Yeah.
Like that's nothing.
so yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so but on a happier note, I hope that she gets the name recognition she deserves.
Same.
At the very
And
least.
on another happier note, is Bayonetta also going to step on you?
Yeah, she could. I still need to play Bayonetta 1. So I got Bayonetta 2 Bayonetta 2 for Switch back in the day, and then I sold it. I don't know why. This is back in the phase when Taylor plays games for 90 minutes and then says,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm selling it." But the game came with a code for Bayonetta 1, which I redeemed. So I have Bayonetta 1 digitally on my Switch that I haven't played yet.
It's also on
So
Game Pass. I don't know if it's going to be on PC Game Pass or not, but you might want to check that if
okay,
you want to
so
play
I
it on
might check it
PC.
out on Switch again, the Bayonetta 1 port eventually, and maybe Bayonetta 2. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get Bayonetta 3 at launch, but for people into Platinum games and the Bayonetta universe seems really cool. Bayonetta seems like a really badass protagonist. She's always seemed that way to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll eventually get around to playing this, but I have not played Bayonetta 1 or 2 either, and I think in this case, sometimes you can just, like, watch, like when God of War 2018 came out, I just watched like the story stuff to kind of catch up with what's going on. But in this case, I think I do want to like actually experience the games. Even if I do end up watching a full playthrough, I want to try experiencing the games first. So it'll probably be a while before I pick this up. Plus, it's coming out at the same time around like the Village DLC and then
it's too much.
Ragnarok, and there's
Busy.
so much going on.
Yeah.
Busy, busy, busy.
Yeah. Awesome. Jam-packed show, guys.
Woo!
And some bumps on the road, but we got through it. And thank you, listeners, so much
We just
for
ran
listening.
over the bumps.
Yeah.
Were they
Yeah.
people? Were they actual bumps? We don't know.
We don't know. But if they
We
were
didn't
people,
look back.
if they were people, they survived because that's how things work around here. So thanks, guys, so much for listening. And remember, you can find No Limits at youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia. And don't forget to check out our Discord if you want to hang out. We have a lot of stuff happening in the Discord, people talking all the time, a lot of good stuff. We're talking
Discord
about
movie nights.
Discord movie nights that someone will go to eventually, Bree.
I've been to a bunch. Come on.
Yeah, you can want to. Good. And talk about a lot of different stuff. And we have our Patreon exclusive shows like Save the Game Boy and Leftovers, which I do. We talk about games and fitness and cooking, and Save the Game Boy is our Nintendo show. And we have other non-Patreon. Is the Anime Corner Patreon exclusive or not?
And it is not Patreon
Yeah,
exclusive.
we have
There is the anime frame by frame special, and we also have the book Bonanza. Neither are exclusive.
A lot of content coming your way, and Extra Life, like I said at the beginning of the show. Check out all those links in the show notes. And yeah, but where can people find you, Sam?
They can find me White Cedar 1 on PSN, Gravy3448 on Xbox, and in the Discord. I deleted my Twitter. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Woo, no Twitter cred. Yay. How about you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulist Brianna, FABULISTBREANNA. You can find me there, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch.
All right.
I just hit 60 followers on
60.
Oh, let's go. It's more than
I
59.
feel like you just hit 50 not that long ago.
I did. I don't know what happened, but like as soon as I hit 50, I just like have been getting a bunch of like like random really fun
more.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have genuinely been having a lot of like really nice people come and help me with Outer Wilds, because a lot of the times when I play, like I just get lost in Outer Wilds. And so I will they're always so nice too, because they're always like, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. And so I will ask very specific questions like, hey, can you help me in this way? And they are always so nice about like not spoiling the game for me, but like helping guide me towards my goals and stuff like that.
Awesome.
It's been great.
Cool.
Where can people find you, Taylor?
On the Discord. That's it.
Yeah.
You can find Real Sam at SAMH. I love how he says EANUY.
HEANUY. Yeah.
I love how he says it.
Links will all be in the show notes. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. And that said, have a good one. Bye-bye.